Time is now 3:34 p.m. on June 27th, 2023. I am Trenace Riggs, school.
Point of order, it is 3:32.
Okay, I'm looking at, okay, I was looking at the clock instead of the 3:32, thank you. I was looking at the other clock, not the digital. We will begin today's school board meeting with a closed session. Please note that the administrative, informal, and workshop session will begin after the closed session. Vice Chair Weems, please read into closed session. Ask for, that will be the motion, and then I'll need a second, okay?
I move that the school board recess into closed session in accordance with the exceptions to open meetings law set forth in Code of Virginia 2.2-3711, Part A, paragraphs 2, 7, and 8 as amended to deliberate on the following matters. 2, discussion or consideration of admission or disciplinary matters or any other matters that would involve the disclosure of information contained in a scholastic record concerning any student of any public institution of higher education in the Commonwealth or any state school system. 7, consultation with legal counsel and briefings by staff members or consultants pertaining to actual or probable litigation, where such consultation or briefing in open meeting would adversely affect the negotiating or litigating posture of the public body. For the purpose of this subdivision, probable litigation means litigation that has been specifically threatened or on which the public body or its legal counsel has a reasonable basis to believe will be commenced by or against a known party. Nothing in this subdivision shall be construed to permit the closure of a meeting merely because an attorney representing the public body is in attendance or is consulted on the matter. 8, consultation with legal counsel employed or retained by a public body regarding specific legal matters requiring the provision of legal advice by such counsel. Nothing in this subdivision shall be construed to permit the closure of a meeting merely because an attorney representing the public body is in attendance or is consulted on a matter, namely to discuss consultation with legal counsel regarding probable litigation and pending litigation matters related to student matters.
I have a second. Mike Allen, and all in favor, please raise your hand.
Madam Chair, we have 10 ayes. The motion did pass to go into closed.
And Ms. Brown is on her way in.
Walking down the hall. Why don't we shut the door and stand there and let her in? Danielle's gonna lock herself out, but okay. Before we start.
A closed meeting on this day pursuant to an affirmative recorded vote and in accordance with the provisions of the Virginia Freedom of Information Act. And whereas Section 2.2-3712 of the Code of Virginia requires a certification by this school board that such closed meeting was conducted in conformity with Virginia law, now therefore be it resolved that the school board of the City of Virginia Beach hereby certifies that to the best of each member's knowledge, only public business matters lawfully exempted from open meeting requirements by Virginia law were discussed in the closed meeting to which this certification applies, and only such public business matters as were identified in the motion by which the closed meeting was convened were heard, discussed, or considered.
So moved.
Okay, all in favor?
Discussion, Madam Chair?
Second.
Discussion, Madam Chair?
Hasn't even gotten a second yet.
Oh, it's seconded by,
No.
you moved it, I need a second. Second from Ms. Brown. Okay, discussion.
Madam Chair, I'm not going to certify the closed session because I was verbally attacked by board members for speaking to citizens that I represent on the topic of ODS, which was not the reason stated for closed session.
Thank you. All right, all in favor of certifying closed session, please raise your hand.
Madam Chair, we have 10 ayes,
All against, please raise your hand.
and we have 1 nay. The motion did pass for certification of closed.
All right, so we're coming to our workshop with C, process for weighing of the grades.
Good afternoon. Can you hear me? Yes.
There you go.
All right. Good afternoon, Chairwoman Riggs, Vice Chair Weems, members of the board, and Dr. Spence. This afternoon, I will provide you an overview on weighted credits in Virginia Beach City Public Schools. I am joined today with Robert Jameson, Executive Director of Student Support Services. According to the Administrative Code of Virginia, 8 VAC 20-160-10, advanced level courses may be suitable for weighted credit to entice students to enroll and to recognize their additional effort. The suitability must be determined by local school boards and reflected in school board policy and on the school profile. As defined by the school profile, a weighted course is an advanced level course in which credit is increased as set forth by school board policy. Students are encouraged to take more advanced level coursework in Virginia Beach City Public Schools, and these courses may be eligible for weighted credit. Now we take a moment to review school board policy on what is an advanced course and how we weight them. First, it is important to understand that advanced placement, otherwise known as AP courses, and International Baccalaureate, which is IB courses, are automatically granted weighted status as per state code. It is up to individual school divisions to decide what non-AP and non-IB courses, such as dual enrollment and academy courses, should also be considered for weighting. The state code does provide specific criteria to help guide these decisions. Section 8 VAC 20-160-60 outlines the criteria that must be met for a course to be eligible for weighting. These criteria include: the course must have a specified curriculum that has been approved either by the local board or an external agency that meets the criteria set forth by the program or organization. The course must have standards that surpass the typical requirements of a regular course, and the course must have a clearly defined assessment component. These elements ensure that if a course is to be weighted, it meets specific quality standards and goes beyond the standard curriculum requirements. In Virginia Beach City Schools, we refer to weighted credits as bonus credit and calculate this bonus according to regulations shown here, 5-29.1. Our school board has entrusted the decision to the Department of Teaching and Learning. It is important to note that bonus credit is just one component of the overall grading system. The regular credit earned by completing a course successfully remains the primary factor in determining a student's grade. Bonus credit is an additional recognition provided to students who demonstrate exceptional mastery and understanding of the course material. The bonus credit allocations are on this slide. The slide shows year-long courses along with semester courses that are slightly adjusted with bonus credit allocation. In conclusion, the allocation of bonus credit for specific courses, as determined by the Department of Teaching and Learning, aims to acknowledge and reward academic achievements of our students. By providing this additional incentive, we hope to foster a culture of excellence and inspire our students to continually push the boundaries of their educational journey. Now I will address Dual Enrollment Regulation 6-89.1. In order for college course to be considered for weighted credit, it must meet one of the following criteria. The student has successfully completed an advanced placement AP course and subsequently enrolls in a higher level sequential college course. The college course has been identified and listed on the approved course list as comparable to an AP course. By assigning weighted status to college courses that meet these criteria, we aim to recognize the additional effort and academic achievements of our students who choose to pursue advanced coursework through dual enrollment programs. It is important to note that the determination of whether a college course meets the criteria for weighted credit is made in accordance with this policy. This policy ensures a fair and consistent evaluation process, guaranteeing that only eligible courses receive weighted status. Now, let's view an essential aspect of our grading system, mainly the calculation of a grade point average, as we know as GPA. This method takes into account the values assigned to final grades in each attempted credit course. In our system, attempted credit course is given a specific value. The values are on the screen. Now, let's review a student's grades. How do we calculate a student's GPA? Based on their final grades, let's take a look at an example to understand the process better. Consider a student who has completed a combination of semester and year-long courses. This slide shows the grades that students have earned. The next slide shows how to calculate the student's GPA. So let's take a closer look on how to calculate using the grades earned, values, attempted credits, and products. This example will help us understand the process step by step. As you see in the column, here are the grades earned by the student in different courses. The next column shares the value of the grade earned. Along with the grades and values, we have attempted credits earned and then products. To calculate the products, we multiply the value of each grade by the corresponding attempted credits for that course. So, for example, starting with the first row, we see that in this particular semester, the student achieved an A grade. The value assigned to this grade is a 4, indicating a high significance. The attempted credits for that semester were 0.5, and multiplying this by the value of the grade, we get a product of 2. Now, let's add up the attempted credits and products. The total credits earned are 6, and the total products are 20.5. To compute the GPA, we divide the total products by the total attempted credits. So in this case, the student's GPA is approximately 3.4167. Understanding how to calculate the GPA using the grades earned, values, attempted credits, and products allows us to accurately measure a student's academic performance. It provides valuable insight to their overall achievement throughout the courses. Now that we have calculated the GPA, let's explore how to calculate, hang on, trying to get it, there we go. Let's explore how to calculate the weighted GPA by incorporating bonus credit for AP courses and specifically approved courses like IB courses. Assuming a student has calculated a GPA of 3.4167, we consider 2 additional weighted courses to determine the final weighted GPA. The year-long AP course, the student earned an A, a 93 grade in the course. This AP course carries a bonus credit of 0.0488. Semester IB course, the student received a grade of a B, an 86 in this course, and the bonus credit value for the semester-long IB course is 0.0183. To calculate the weighted GPA, we add the bonus credit values to the existing GPA. So we have a GPA of a 3.4167, an AP bonus credit of 0.0488, and an IB bonus credit of a 0.0183. Therefore, the student's final total weighted GPA is approximately a 3.4838. By incorporating bonus credit for advanced placement courses and specifically approved courses like IB courses, we can provide additional recognition for students who have challenged themselves with this more rigorous coursework. Understanding the calculation of a weighted GPA enables us to accurately evaluate a student's academic performance, considering both regular and weighted coursework. In summary, the criteria for determining which courses are eligible to receive weighted credit is outlined in the Virginia Administrative Code, 8 VAC 20-160-60. According to the code, a course must possess the following elements to be considered for weighted credit. First, a specific curriculum. The course must have a curriculum that has been approved by the local board or an external agency. Higher standards. The course must include standards that go beyond the normal requirements of a standard course. These standards should reflect a more rigorous and advanced level content, depth, and skill development. A defined assessment component. The course should have a clearly defined assessment component. This means that there should be specific methods and criteria for evaluating students' mastery of the course content and skills. The assessment should align with the standards of the course. The determination of which courses receive bonus credit is handled by the Department of Teaching and Learning as stated in Regulation 5-29.1. We in the Department of Teaching and Learning are committed to reviewing the courses offered and evaluating them based on the elements mentioned earlier to ensure that the courses meet established criteria for weighting. Then following Regulation 6-89.1 is to ensure the course has been identified on an approved course list. Now I would like to share our next steps and considerations in our ongoing effort to assess and determine which courses should receive weighted credit, as well as how this credit should be awarded. We have formed a focus group. Our focus group will examine local and regional school divisions to compile valuable information and current practices regarding weighted credit. Using current research found, we now shift our focus to considering specific Virginia Beach City Public School courses. These courses include dual enrollment. Dual enrollment courses provide students with opportunity to earn college credits while still in high school. Governor's School of the Arts. The Governor's School for the Arts offers specialized programs in various artistic disciplines. Honors courses. Honors courses offer an enriched curriculum and additional academic challenge. And Select Academy and advanced academic courses. VBCPS offers select academy programs and advanced academic courses that cater to students with specific interests and talents. Using research findings and considerations for these additional courses, dedicated to VBCPS staff members will come together to discuss collected information and evaluate potential courses that could receive weighted credit. We look forward to giving the board an update in the fall on our work. Thank you for allowing me to share this information on weighted credits in Virginia Beach City Public Schools. I would now like to invite Robert Jameson, Executive Director of Student Support Services, to join me to answer any questions that you may have.
Ms. Melnick.
So thank you. Not going to lie, I've been pushing for this for years as my daughter's a former Governor's School student. So there are other school divisions that have been giving weighted credit for Governor's School classes for quite some time. Do you do any cross-check to see what others, what other divisions are offering weighted classes? Just to get, because it'll be somewhat subjective. So I'm assuming not every class, or would it be every class, or just, what is it for like the Governor's School?
Great question. That's actually part of the research that we'll be conducting with the local school divisions, obviously Norfolk, Chesapeake, Portsmouth, who all feed into the Governor's School. Mm-hmm. But our research will expand beyond that to other regions of our state, to include Henrico, Fairfax, Chesterfield, and others, to cover honors as well as dual. We already know AP and IB, and then any of those special programs that may fall in line with Governor's School or Academy programs.
Okay.
So we'll be bringing that information back.
And with the Governor's School for the Arts admission, that also identifies a student gifted, correct? I believe that's what happened when my daughter got into that school. I think it's, okay. So, so this will not go into effect this year. This will be.
So we're in the process of gathering more information for the board. We want to be really clear on, we've had our practices. They're in regulation. That is where those examples came from today in the presentation. And we want to come back with additional feedback from stakeholders, both internally and externally, to then share some additional information with this group.
But what does that mean? Could it happen for this coming up school year or not?
No. So any change that we do make, we would have to come to an agreed upon decision as to which cohort of students would be the effective year.
Okay.
Typically, when we do make these kinds of decisions, we tend to look at a rising sixth grade class, so that all of those who are currently in high school or potentially taking high school credit-bearing courses would not be impacted by any change that we make midway.
Okay. And while I respect that, it's a bummer. But thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Okay. Ms. Martin and then Ms. Smith.
I had a question on slide 5, if we could take a look real quick. It's
section F, numbers 1 and 2, is that the student has completed an AP course and enrolls in a higher level sequential course, and the college course has been identified, or is that an or?
That is, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, so for example, if a student was in AP Calculus 1 and then they went into like Vector Calculus 2, that's dual enrollment, that would automatically be weighted.
So what if they took Psych 1 at TCC, not as an AP, but just as a dual enrollment, and then they took Psych 2? Are they both weighted, or just the Psych 2?
So in this instance, that's where option 2 comes into play in terms of reviewing the content for each of those courses on their individual merit and determining if weighted credit should be applied. So in your example, if Psychology 1, which I know they just changed to combine their courses, but if Psychology 1 was on the weighted list, they would receive weighted credit for Psych 1. And then if they went on to take Psych 2, they again
It
would
would
receive
also,
weighted.
okay, so you're not gonna have to choose between whether or not you take an AP or you do dual enrollment.
No, ma'am, and that's
They're
why we
kinda
want to
equal.
gather.
Okay.
Great
thank you.
question.
Question on the same slide. I wasn't even aware of this. So there's a list of approved college courses that are weighted. Where do parents find that approved list?
So the approved list is not publicly posted. What we have established are the courses within our course guide and in the clean catalog, the move to the digital course guide that we will have had in place this year, we'll have in place next year. Those weighted courses are marked there. But a comprehensive list is one thing, and speaking with Dr. Rogers, that we do foresee as a public change for the 23-24 school year, just to list those out.
Yeah, because as a parent of students who would have probably done this, I did not know this was available. So I think we need to be getting that out there to our families.
Yes, ma'am?
Thank you.
Yeah, so as a parent of 2 high schoolers, I have gotten a lot of questions about the weighting. One of them is that a lot of parents are confused when they sign their kids up for classes that are honors courses. They believe that they're going to get a bonus because they can't find the list anywhere. You know, and I'm not saying that we aren't necessarily putting classes on there that don't belong on there, but I do believe that the public being able to access the list as it's referenced in our policy, the Department of Teaching and Learning will determine which courses are to receive a bonus credit. I think providing the community with which courses those are would be beneficial to parents, students, you know, anybody that has those types of questions. So I am really grateful that we're looking at this. I think that it's something that we definitely need to do, and I'm very happy that you guys brought this presentation. So,
Yes, ma'am.
thank you.
And to share, so in terms of the comprehensive list, which I completely understand and agree, I do just want to, I guess, highlight the fact that they are listed in our course catalog. And we do have a paragraph where, not in one comprehensive list, but as part of our various academy programs, there will be an asterisk indicating weighted credit. We have a paragraph indicating that all AP and IB courses are automatically weighted, and then any other course that is a part of a specific program, it's notated there. So I agree with you in terms of having the one place versus the various pages. So yes, ma'am.
And then we can add it to our course guide, yes.
Mr. Culpepper and then Ms. Owens.
I'm really just kind of echoing that. This is a great brief. I had a lot of these questions when I first got onto the board, and this answers pretty much all of them. So yeah, if you can make this brief publicly available, I think that would be very good. I got one more question for you later, but I'll watch the clock and get off.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Ms. Owens.
Yep, and this is more, I guess, of a thing to be considering since we don't have guidelines on this quite yet after the focus group. But will there be a process for students or families to request consideration of a specific course that's not maybe currently listed? Child who goes to visitation with somebody in North Carolina and chooses to take a college course that summer while they're down there. Is there a way for them to put a request for consideration on those, or is that, I mean, it's a college course.
I don't mean to start smiling. In my world of school counseling, question has come up. That's part of what that research that we bring back to you will kind of unveil. It's one of the specific questions in terms of how do we address transfer students coming in. We have a high military population. There are differences that occur from one school division to the next. So again, increasing our transparency upon their arrival in their enrollment in our schools, as well as how, coming forward back to this group, we'll have more information to consider any of those transfer situations or individual requests, and we'll see how we proceed.
I knew you guys would be looking into it so comprehensively. Thank you.
Ms. Anderson?
So, the question of weighted classes really came into great discussion, during, one of our policy committee meetings, where we were told that, the only two high schools where regular students couldn't really compete with, students who were taking weighted classes was basically Ocean Lakes and Princess Anne. Those were the two where there were extreme weighted classes. And so the regular student really didn't have a chance. So we adjusted, and so next year, we plan on having two valedictorians for those two high schools. Will this, what you're doing, impact any of the other high schools, or will it still be competitive for most students to, get weighted classes fairly across the curriculum?
Understood. With our expansion of dual enrollment coursework, which is available to all students, this would actually impact all students. Any decision that we make in regards to weighted credit for dual enrollment is something that would impact every student in our school division.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, is that all? Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm so excited for this.
Thank you.
Okay, so let me make an announcement that I did not make before we went into our workshop. Our workshop for the gifted services and also for the forecast of the regular school board meeting agenda topics for the fiscal year 24 for the first quarter, July, August, and September, will be resumed after item 17 following our formal meeting. So we'll be coming back for that workshop, okay? Thank you. And we are now in recess.